Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella said last week, "We want to be the infrastructure provider. We want to be the developer amplifier. We want to provide every part of our tech stack to basically help the country gain that leverage towards becoming a $1 trillion digital economy soon." Nadella seems to have ticked all the right boxes during his just concluded visit to India. After External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, he also met Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday evening. He praised the government's focus on sustainable and inclusive economic growth led by digital transformation. The Microsoft CEO also said that he was looking forward to helping realize the Digital India vision and be a light for the world. Earlier, during an interaction with the Business Daily, Nadella hailed India's use of technology as a percentage of its GDP. He said that Aadhaar and Unified Payments Interface platforms were astonishing and that AI will be the next big wave. Nadella said that it is about making in India for the world. "This is India's moment to shine," he said. Just a few days ago, Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai had also echoed similar sentiments during his visit to India. He said that India is emerging as a big sphere for technology and will soon become a big export economy. Both the CEOs, besides being two of the most recognizable Indian origin heads of global tech majors, showed a common enthusiasm for working with the Indian government in its push for digitization and technical skill development. However, even as two CEOs were touring India, the government was busy giving final touches to regulations governing tech giants. According to reports, the government is also mulling bringing a new law to police the big tech. It wants to put in place a regulatory framework to ensure fair competitive practices and a level playing field for both the big techs and the small firms. This will be in addition to several other existing and upcoming regulations. While periodic regulatory scrutiny, antitrust and privacy-related lawsuits against tech giants like Google, Meta and Apple are becoming increasingly frequent, the year 2022 saw an unprecedented push from the Indian government to put in place a comprehensive regulatory framework for IT and telecom. This includes the Telecom Bill, the Digital India Act, as well as the Digital Personal Data Protection or DPDP Bill. The National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, NCLAT, last week directed Google to pay 10% of the 1,337 crore rupees penalty imposed by the Competition Commission of India. Even as regulatory news tightens, what are the different factors that make India an attractive destination for the big techs?
Especially after the pandemic and the rise of digital initiatives within most of the enterprises across the country, including those who are very shy off in the technology adoption, has given rise to that untapped market, which was never approachable for these big techs. So as it is, the addressable market, given the India's wide diversity, was huge. But then some of the other sectors, such as SMBs and the MSMEs, these two sectors have also added on to the overall addressable market, which provides a very attractive proposition, especially in the area of cloud technologies, the artificial intelligence, and particularly anything else which is quite banked upon the data. The adoption within the Indian enterprises, and especially in certain sectors such as manufacturing, retail, healthcare, some of these sectors which have prominently grown post-pandemic, where the consumerism is very high, and especially where the disposable income is quite high as well, that has become the booming reason for most of the big tech companies to continue to invest.
India also provides a great opportunity for consumer experimentation.
So today, if you look at both Google and Microsoft, or even other tech giants of the globe, they are trying to pivot from being a techno company to a consumer experience company. Because for the future growth perspectives, you have to focus on the consumer experience. And for the consumers, now India is considered as the biggest ground for consumer experimentation, because the kind of diversity we have, the kind of technology know-how people have, puts forward humongous possibility of future growth. India is the best, laboratory for them. The kind of test experience OpenAI can get by, inviting users from India. So success of any AI-driven technology, if it is benchmarked in India, it can have global success because India would train that AI technology on various parameters because there is a diversity in each and every aspect or on each and every variable that you talked about.
With its diversified consumer base and skilled labor force, India is also well positioned to become a trusted global tech arena under China Plus One strategy.
The core Western markets which were served are going through probably a recessionary come inflationary phase, right? So India stands out as a potentially alternate attractive market. I think that would be the first point. The second is India also has a significant capability, talent capability. While we know that unfortunately there have been big tech layoffs globally, I would believe in the medium term, there would be certain hiring in the offshore centers in India, providing the technology development, technology upkeeps, etc., from the Indian supply side. So both from a demand side, in short, both from a demand side and a supply side, I think India is becoming more and more attractive.
But is there a possibility that India's tough regulatory stance may discourage or arrest the big tech's enthusiastic foray into the market? Not necessarily, says Johari.
The reason that motivated them to consider India to be a manufacturing location was not only because of the talent or the workforce in the manufacturing sector, which is the labor arbitrage, but also their willingness to continue to capture the market as the regulatory outlook evolves in the country. I don't think so. It has proven to be an impediment for big techs to consider India as a less secure or less safer region to operate in. That's the reason we have seen the likes of Twitter, the likes of WhatsApp, the likes of Amazon and Microsoft complying to the requirements of government. There could have been an iota of that these actions were an impediment for the big techs to grow in the region. They wouldn't have continued the investment.
Malodia also believes the regulatory push is part of the larger evolutionary life cycle of tech innovations, and these won't be detrimental to tech giants.
Yes, there are issues like breach of privacy. There are issues with blockchain technology that we have been talking about, and that's where government, when they find that there is some misuse of technology, they try to do post facto regulation, but that I believe is not a hindrance. It always happens in this way. First, there's a technology innovation, evolution, and then people try to redeem the technology in multiple ways. Most of the times, such redemption is for the betterment of humankind. And sometimes there are people who try to misuse it, and that's where regulations have to come in. So yes, there would always be cases of corrections, but I don't think that, in India, there are any regulations which are detrimental to innovation.
Sudarshan of Deloitte believes that India's regulatory push might actually be encouraging for the tech giants' long-term plans.
In the medium to long term, it is perhaps very good because it provides a very clear framework, the regulatory framework, including the data privacy bills that we are talking about now. In every form, I think it will provide a clear framework and a defined field of play, right? I think the better defined it is much easier for a company to operate once it knows the rules. So in a sense, this is welcome. I know in the short run, there may be certain difficulties that companies will have to overcome.
While the regulations might seem discouraging to certain aspects of the big tech's operations in India, the size of the market India offers, as well as the opportunity available in terms of skilled labor, diversification, and consumer experience, means that the big techs will have to comply with India's regulatory framework in order to capture this market.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.